Hey guys, welcome to Duck Game 2. I hope you are a big fan of Duck Game. Let's get ready for some 4-player multiplayer madness and a classroom trial. Here we go. So is everyone ready to... What? Am I blind or are we missing someone?
Yo.
Yeah, Toko's not here.
Huh?
And Toko is... You really don't remember? Kidding, I'm just kidding. How could I forget that little nut job? She's a crucial part of the class trial this time.
What are you gonna
Okie
do?
dokie, I'll go ahead and drag her out here, kicking and screaming. Just one moment, please. Just like that, he said. Just like he said a few minutes later, he reappeared, dragging Toko behind him. I told him I didn't want to, but he bribed me. I can't believe he would drag a girl around. You're terrible. Now, everyone's here, right? Okay then, hustle onto the elevator and let's get this show on the road. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Shall we get going? It's time to find out who killed Chihiro. You, I think. Pretty sure it was you, Byakuya. Someone made that choice to kill a girl like that. And that murderer is one of us. Someone standing right here. Let's go.
It's true.
I gave a small nod in reply. With one last deep breath, I walked towards the elevator on shaky legs. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. As soon as everyone was on, the elevator began to descend. I couldn't get a handle on my emotions, couldn't stop speculating. I have no idea 100% here, you know. The steel box sank with heavy clunking sounds deeper and deeper into the ground. And as we went deeper, the uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. The elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend without hesitation. Until finally, it came to a sudden stop. What do you think? I redecorated. Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it so exciting? Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with. Good, good. You rip-roaring fanfare to go. Could I say I don't hate it? Not at all. Okay then, let's get this show on the road. Everyone, please find your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. Yeah, of course I do. Right, let's look at the pre-trial prep. So, victims Chihiro Fujisaki, time of death is 2 AM. The body was discovered in the girls' locker room on the second floor of the school. The cause of death was a blow to the head with a blunt object. She was killed instantly. Okay. On the night of the murder, right before nighttime, Chihiro was spotted leaving the warehouse. It seems she was stuffing some blue exercise clothes into a duffel bag. Presumably she was on her way to exercise, but the clothes were not found at the crime scene. Celeste has told anyone other than Makoto... Not told anyone other than Makoto, okay. Byakuya was known to use this lamp often. However, the extension cord had gone missing at some point, and the lamp's cord couldn't quite reach the outlet. Sakura mentioned that she was responsible for a coffee stain on the girls' locker room floor. However, the stain had since been inextricably scrubbed away. Chihiro's body had been suspended and her hands had been bound with some kind of rope. Her fatal injury was a blow to the head. Chihiro's handbook was not found on the corpse, and that's apparently gone missing, because that says that she's male, I'm assuming. Blood was found on the poster in the girls' locker room. The poster featured a big-breasted supermodel popular among young boys. Meanwhile, the poster in the boys' locker room was for boy band popular with teenage girls. The carpet in the boys' locker room was found with blackish stain on it. So they changed the rooms around to cover up the fact that Chihiro was a boy. That's clear. Chihiro seems to have consciously kept her distance from other girls because she's not a girl. Meanwhile, it's been noticed that she's gone remarkably well with her male classmates. Okay, well that's obvious. Suspected genocide jack victims include Ken Harada. They were killed in the same way amounted to a nearby wall. The word bloodlust was found at the scene of each crime written in blood. Profiling indicates the killer is likely a student suffering from a split personality. Like that chick, but probably not that chick because that's too obvious. One of the handbooks found in the main hall has been broken, which is apparently a rare occurrence. I think Byakuya, by the way, killed him. I'm going to keep saying her. Killed her and then basically tried to put the blame on Toko. One of the main handbooks found in the main hall has been broken. Junko and Saika's handbooks both seem to work, so it's assumed the broken handbook is Leon's. However, Monokuma claims it's very unlikely that Leon's handbook would have been broken. Is her one wasted inside it or something? Handbook of each student has died is placed in the mailbox in the main hall. To unlock a locker room, you need to swap your e-handbook over the card reader. You may multiple students have it at the boys' locker room. It's not possible for two people to enter at the same time. Additionally, lending someone your handbook is a violation of school regulations. Shira told anyone willing to listen that she wanted to get stronger. Some assume that due to her inferiority complex about being weak, she admires strength more than anything else. Does she admire Byakuya's strength? Yeah, they had that weird exchange, right? I'm sure it's him. The dumbbell found on the floor of the girls' locker room has a significant amount of blood on it. Although Chihiro wanted to get stronger, she declined several invitations from Sakura and Aoi and may have used the locker room late at night to avoid them. Despite this, Chihiro stated she has desired help with her efforts. She may have been meeting someone in the locker room the night she was murdered. And there we go. I mean, I'm pretty confident that's what's going on. We have two skills. We have... What do we have? We have Algorithm. Increase the speed of memorizing a statement. Effective during the non-stop debate. Increase damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. Effective during the bullet time battle. Let's go for that. Can I just take both? I can. Okay, cool. Right, there's our two skills then. Obviously, some of these skills we'll never see, but, you know. Here we go. Class trial. All right.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, if you can figure
We know
out
this already.
who done it, then I'll punish. Okay, let's talk about the murder weapon.
First, we have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. Well, we know what it was, right? It's the locker room dumbbell.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
There we go. No. Oh, shit. You said you think I have some proof that contradicts what I said? I'm fucking up. I need to think about it one more time. There must be a contradiction in their statement somewhere.
Chihiro's fatal
I fucked up there.
It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
There you go. That's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell? Found at the scene of the crime?
Yes.
It was covered in blood. And there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yay! That's so creepy.
But necessary.
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
He's gonna blame Toko, but it's not her.
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? New element has been added to non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. For this debate, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets will disappear if they hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. But there's a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the right mouse button to attach the silencer, which can use to shoot down the white noise. Or if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim when you take your silencer out. God, this is so confusing. But if your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. In which case, you can forgive about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you. Well then, good luck and have fun. I don't know if I'm playing on gentle or not, I can't remember.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible.
Why? what makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
Well, I fucked up.
Hey, so, speaking of Genocide Jack, I don't know who that is!
The thing Byakuya showed me, one thing, yeah. I'm gonna lose a health again, right?
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as
How
I'm
does the
concerned.
fucking thing work?
But that's impossible.
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
There we go.
No, that's wrong!
Okay, so I've got to shoot him down and then use that to go through. So confusing.
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the
I'm
library?
pretty sure that Byakuya put it together there.
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
Oh my god, really?
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
The other characteristic of every Genocide Jack case, which the world at large doesn't know. If I'm not mistaken, it has to do with the positioning of the body. How the victim was positioned.
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
I don't think he is. I think it's literally just fucking Byakuya.
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
Oh, great. Here comes the accusation.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
You lie!
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial
That is a fair
killer
point,
is afraid of blood?
Owie.
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle.
Oh, stop being so fucking stupid,
Why
this
is
guy. I hate
gotta
this
be
guy so much.
Complicated.
It's a riddle for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What is the means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also to not be Toko? The answer is that she's not just one person, but multiple people, right? Oh, fuck. I'm not sure what the word is, guys. Okay, S. Split, so you need a P, right? We need a P next. Hang on, that's not copyright. Fuck, I'm so dead. Shh, skits. Okay. I don't know. Is it schizo? It's schizo, right? There you go, schizo. I lost a bit of health, but still.
Now I understand.
Schizo. That's a weird. That's quite a derogatory term, right? Quite
Is
surprised.
it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file, too. They thought that the suspect might have... what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Okay, this is all too convenient, though.
Oh, okay. But still, go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that
I'm not
she
sure
has
it
a
is
split
proof. I don't trust you
personality.
at all, fuckface. The one thing that shows Toko could have a split personality, it has to do with her behavior. Her behavior changed.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
Okay, yeah, that was pretty weird. I mean, that is pretty incriminating, but it doesn't mean that she's necessarily Genocide Jack, you know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Yeah, she sounded completely different too. So she obviously suffers from it. That doesn't mean
She was
things...
acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely
Okay.
disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without
Or I'll
permission.
fucking kill you. I mean...
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
I don't know, you know. This is all very intriguing. I won't let Genocide Jack have control, she said, yeah.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting
Again, that
out.
makes sense, but I don't think she's Genocide Jack.
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Oh, she confided in him. He's just manipulated this whole thing. He's a fucking scumbag.
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right?
I mean, that's
Toko?
pretty bad, but... I reckon the split personality moved the body, but he did the killing.
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
Why would you trust him? He's such a fucking cunt!
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise...
So she is Genocide Jack, perhaps. She is perhaps Genocide Jack. Holy shit!
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promise.
How many times do I have to tell you?
I
never
reckon he
said
probably
that.
did. He's a scumbag.
But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing. Could you?
He did the killing.
I tried. I swear I tried to control it.
But your
It's
efforts
obviously
were
him! Oh my
useless.
god, he's driving me up the
What
wall.
a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person? You don't...
Everyone back away from her. Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom. But in the next second...
Well, hello there. Is it me you were hoping to see?
Genocide Jill.
Yes. What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide
Look at that fucking
Jill.
tongue. What the fuck?
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko. That's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
Jesus Christ, this is fucked up. She really is Genocide Jack.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous minds terrifying sound and murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
I don't reckon she killed anyone still. This is the murderous fiend Genocide Jack. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to do with it.
It's not true?
Of course it's not true. How dare you try to link me to
I
that
love Monokuma's voice
toy?
acting, by the way. I think it's spot on.
And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless. I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
It's you, dude.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined.
Oh, you fucking
So she had a
scumbag!
very
I'm
clear
siding with the
motive
serial
to
killer
never
over this
have that
fuck.
side of herself
This
exposed.
guy is scum. He is scum.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect
I
any
believe
of
her.
us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
Maybe. Maybe she's totally right about that, but there's something still bothering me. What she said, I need to get some more details about all of this. What's this? Make your argument, fuck. Status of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need?
What the fuck? That was bullshit. That was really bullshit.
Give it up.
You killed her.
Okay, folks, remembering, we're gonna have to do this again. Fuck.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi.
Okay, so it's Byakuya's thing that's not right. Because the crime scene doesn't
When you
match.
compare your
There
past
was a
murders to
problem.
this incident, the modus operandi matches.
But it doesn't. Because there's...
No,
That's right. Exactly! Yes! Fuck you, Byakuya, you cunt!
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me
I love
tell
this voice
you.
acting.
I murder with passion.
Yeah, there was no fucking blades.
I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
What a fucking analogy.
No creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Okay, there's one clear difference between the murders. In the photos from the other Genocide Jack cases, look at the neck and stomach. The victim's fatal injury.
I got
There
it!
we go.
For one, the cause of death is
Damn right.
different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors.
Yeah, well, I don't know why I didn't mention that before, but I did notice it.
But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
What was the conflicting detail? Did
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
This is really fucked up.
Could you please stop comparing
Yeah,
killing
please.
people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
That's right. The second difference is related to how she was suspended. In the photos of the other Genocide Jack cases, all of the victims were stabbed through their hands. You'll see a clear difference. That? Yes!
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind
It wasn't
of
rope,
rope
it's the
to
fucking
hang
cord
her
from the
up by her
fucking plug!
wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp
That's
scissors.
crazy. Would be completely impossible.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools
Damn
I
right.
use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences.
You only kill men.
Wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's
Yeah, you only
actually
kill men.
one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? There's a
Yeah.
pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Oh, hang on though, because Chihiro is a man.
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Let's see. The pattern surrounding Genocide Jack victims to Chihiro didn't fit it. You look at the names of every victim, what you'll notice is...
I got
Chihiro
it!
was a girl, although I don't think she is.
Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo, bullseye, right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They're all male. Yeah.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
God,
What is wrong with
this is
you?
amazing!
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged man-meadow!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too
Chihiro
much
is a dude,
passion
though.
and conviction
Chihiro
to
is
cross that
definitely a
line.
dude.
That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely. When you're forced to kill in order to
Don't trust him
survive.
at all. It's him.
Quiet, lowly car!
Lowly.
Oh, he's triggered! He's triggered! Look at that triggered face!
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect.
That does make some amount of
Yes!
sense.
Listen to her!
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the
Don't all the
school.
sewing kits have them?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world.
This is epic shit.
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, there are?
Da, 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 da.
Oh, she has them! Shit! Fucking hell.
She's fully equipped.
That's right. So I can kill anywhere, anytime. Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you.
She's just proven herself
Not to
innocent.
mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be
Yes!
innocent?
Byakuya is more heinous than that. Well,
The
maybe not
body
more
really was
heinous, but still.
suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on. There is one person. One person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases.
Here's my answer.
Yeah, Byakuya, you fucking scumbag.
Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Yeah!
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Jesus Christ, she's turned on.
No, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls
He's
on
enjoying
you.
every fucking minute of this.
Then I must ask.
Celeste looks like she's shitting
When
herself.
did you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
In the locker rooms. They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed, wouldn't you agree? Huh? Suspicious? It seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room. He drove them to the body.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that.
But there is,
I'd
because
say.
Chihiro isn't a
On
girl.
the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then. What's so strange about it? Go ahead. Share with the rest of the class.
There was a clear contradiction in what Byakuya just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. Yeah, a new element's been added. Fuck. Next we're going to add something called a truth flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down the left mouse button, then you'll memorize the weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer or a line of contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use it to make your case. What's the best time to flashback? Well, you'll just have to use your keen wits, won't you? In this case, though, I will say that if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Well then, good luck and have fun. I love it always says good luck and have fun. Thank you, Mr. Chunsoft. Right, well that's obviously wrong.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Okay. I realise there's a clear contradiction there. It doesn't matter how he could have known before. But it doesn't make sense how he could have known before we'd even found out. Okay, I need to make more question.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
That's a natural reaction!
The victim was Chihiro.
That work?
No, that's wrong.
What the fuck is happening here?
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim
Damn right,
was.
I didn't even get that.
So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim
In fact,
doesn't
it's
hold
really
up.
suspicious.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too
Well, my
weak.
face spazzes out here.
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like he's nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about
Yes! Kyoko, I need to make friends
we
with you.
just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The differences between this case and other Genocide Jack murders. The evidence that proves Byakuya responsible is hidden in there. What could it be? Oh, fuck me. Library desk lamp. Okay.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
Okay, that's fine.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that
rope before in my life.
Obviously, somebody
Fucking
else
bullshit,
hidden
cunt,
away
fucking
somewhere.
slow down. Right.
What? The difference? You want me to explain when I want to kill, and I use those same. But Chihiro
Obviously, you had seen that right before in his fucking life.
Then there must be some...
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it?
I've never
Seen that rope before in my life.
There you go, fuck you.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, damn right it is.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension
Yeah.
cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover
Damn right,
that.
awesome.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls'
No, you didn't.
locker
You killed
room,
her in the boys'
then
one.
hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look
Well,
like
you did do that,
Genocide
yes.
Jack was behind. Is that a...
He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved.
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little
This is really
more.
important.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already
It could be two.
decided who did
Oh
it.
no, he went and got the other chick's handbook.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make
But
it
you didn't
look
kill her in
like
the
it
girls'
was the
locker
work
room.
of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait, what was that just now? Something's not right. Jiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean... Can I really just accept what Byakuya just said as truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said. The scene of the crime.
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that?
You fucking prick!
Even in the
What a
world
fucking
of
cunt!
disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about
But there
that.
is.
How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder
Oh, look at that
scene?
sweat!
That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey, Byakuya, did you just take your off guard? Did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who's been so confident up till now, maybe Byakuya never even realized the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission. What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Okay, here we go. Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that was switched between the boys' and girls' locker rooms. Well, multiple things, but the 2 locker room posters.
I got it!
There we go.
The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really
I mean, this is
seem
like
to belong
fucking
in
like
a
gender
boys'
stereotypes,
locker room.
whatever.
So you're saying that maybe the posters
Well, they won't
were
have blood on them.
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker room.
The carpet.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the
Damn right you
carpet,
did.
But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved. So we have boys' locker room carpet. There we go.
The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein.
Damn right it is, with the...
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched?
Damn right
too?
they were.
But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think? What? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of
Because
the crime?
Chihiro is a boy.
Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
Still very interesting, but it's true.
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device, but Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room.
But it only allowed her
She had
access to the
no
boys'
way
locker
to get
room.
into the boys' locker room.
No, she did have a way. And I can tell you what it was.
Holy shit, this is a revelation.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro have really gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? Yeah, damn right. What we got here? We have... Make your argument. Here we go. What we're using. Broken e-handbook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
I think so.
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook.
Never thought of that before.
Was the ultimate
Oh yeah, she could have done. Shit, maybe she is a...
That would have been no problem for her.
Maybe she is a
No,
girl.
I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
She can't have used Leon's handbook because Leon's handbook was broken. So that's that.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly
That was like a
you gave up.
non-discussion point. What the fuck?
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning
Why would he
your
dig
handbook
himself
is
in a ditch here, though? I don't
It
understand.
says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a
Maybe
dead
he isn't
person's
guilty.
handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup! Hit the nail square on the noggin!
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook! The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts
Okay, damn right.
blaring.
Interesting.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Oh my god, let's just fucking get this over with, please. Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room, but Byakuya was the one who did it. Really? But still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
Please help, Kyoko.
You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right?
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in?
There's still one other way.
There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you
Yeah,
think
I don't think
you're
we can leave the
doing?
courtroom.
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Okay.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Okay, where are we going? What the fuck is happening now? Right in the middle of the fucking trial. So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead. And where she took us was the crime scene. Can I just save here?
The girls' locker room?
Can I save here? I can. I better save in the middle of the court case. It's been going for fucking ages. Alright, here we go.
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body
Oh
one
my
more
god.
time.
Okay, you want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like, using
I hope we
my
don't have to find it.
hands? No, wait.
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well.
Go on, Sakura. Keep calling you Sayaka.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are
Oh my
about?
god, Jesus Christ.
That's not it at all. Stop screwing
I love the
around.
tongue on Genocide Jail Cell.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this?
What is it?
Not possible. It's
She gone
not
Super
possible.
Saiyan! Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy!
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
You're joking, right?
Oh my god, it's
I
not that.
wouldn't joke about
It's fucking.
this.
Why is she so pissed?
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Then he was a cross-dresser? Oh, now I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
Holy shit!
What Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
Okay, here we go. Back to the trial room. That was awesome.
I do.
Okay, let's resume.
We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
Think that Chihiro was actually a guy. The thought had never even crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into
Damn
the
right,
girls'
that's
locker
easy
room.
enough.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the
So I
body,
still think
but
it's Byakuya.
yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it
He's
rather
sweating.
odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very
He's so fucking loving this. He's like, mystery.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not
What the
actually
fuck?
be the killer.
Who is the
after
killer
all.
then?
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything
Well, it still
to
could
do
be
with
him. He could be manipulating
And
you.
you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least,
That's
how I see
interesting.
it.
So he wants to be framed?
And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time
Okay, that's
being.
interesting.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us
Could
right
be
now?
Mondo.
No, I am not effing with you right
So it's
I'm
a dude
telling you
that's
the
a
truth.
dude did the killing. Yeah?
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with
This
the
is
rest
really
of us.
tense.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why
To
do
make
you
it
do
more
that to his
entertaining, I
body?
guess.
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't
He
you
has a
say?
point.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear.
I reckon
Byakuya
it could
did
be Yashiro.
No, I'm with Makoto.
It could
If
be.
there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight.
Nah,
Count
he
me in.
took that too early.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or
This
something?
is weird.
Anyway,
Who could have done it?
Let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall
This
we
is so
resume our
exciting!
game of hide
Holy
and seek?
shit! But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure we know about the killer. The killer was able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means the killer is a guy.
I got it!
Since the crime scene was in the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use his own. In other words, it had to be in a guy. But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Here we go. Make your argument, guys. What's up next? Celeste's account.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
Okay.
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
Well, that's wrong. Oh, shit.
Shoot!
Fuck!
Isn't there a single clue that might lead?
Well,
Okay, so that's wrong.
I'm sure if someone saw the...
Perhaps someone saw the victim.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new...
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim?
Okay,
The killer.
And only the killer.
that's wrong. Good, awesome, we got a thing back. That's wrong, yes! Celeste.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes. I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about
Makoto?
this. The rest of you had no idea, did you?
This is why.
That is why
I love her
you're all
accent.
making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed
How did
them
they destroy
to
them,
get rid of
though?
any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Well, I better be going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry, but why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find
It's
out
Mondo.
the secret he was hiding, right?
It's Mondo.
Which means that conversely, he
I
must
liked
have
Mondo, that's a
trusted
shame.
whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship!
It's Mondo.
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Kyoko, shut the fuck up. You're such a smug bitch sometimes. I like you, but fuck me.
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on two pieces of evidence that we
This is
don't
really
have?
interesting. What a twist.
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that,
It's
we wouldn't know how to use it.
Kiyotaka or Mondo.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket? The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse.
Okay.
All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow it's really hard to believe. What are we missing here? Celeste's account. Well, it's not going to be that, is it? We're going to have to
First
find
of
a
all,
new one,
we know
maybe.
where Chihiro was headed.
I'm going to fuck up
He was
here.
on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he
Okay.
did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
Okay, well that makes sense.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. Because exercising sucks.
Okay, I'm missing something
I
here.
have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any
I don't know what to
closer
do here.
figuring out who the culprit
This is really
is?
confusing.
No way. Not a chance.
Okay, so here we go.
You heard him, right? what he just said without even realizing it? First
So
of
guys,
all,
I
we know that
failed,
he was on his way- so
and
next up,
now
why
I'm
did
trying
he
again.
choose the-
I'm just gonna try shooting this at everyone because I've been trying to copy like like things and stuff.
What you're saying? The killer was wearing the same blue.
How'd you know it was
tracksuit as
blue?
you.
Fuck! I should have seen that. I just died. Holy shit! I'm a fucking idiot.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then I assumed he headed off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's
It's
color.
Monday.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you? You just...
Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was
Mondo's fucked.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
the only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I'm
sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
Oh my god.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died. That's the only possibility.
Cherry?
Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
I'm pretty sure that Mondo's our murderer.
I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
It was in the bag, so there's no way he could have seen it.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
You fucked up, Mondo.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit.
Very cunning, Kyoto.
That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you
Yeah, I'd
so
like to hear
suspicious?
this.
That's a good question. There was a certain turning point that tipped me off.
Okay.
Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something
Damn
we didn't.
right.
You notice such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful.
She's fucking awesome.
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say.
Oh, here we go.
Putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a false
They're
accusation.
butt buddies.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly
Oh, shut the
come.
fuck up.
That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Can you please just get the
that
fucking bottom
reminds
of
me.
it?
Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Probably nothing.
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that
Just
relevant.
fucking say something.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist. Here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
You found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to... It's Chihiro's.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted.
Something's up with it.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall for all your confidence. That is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
I've no idea. There's only one possible explanation.
I got it!
There we go, that was just a guess.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip. But I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession...
Someone knows the weak
You
point.
only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
Huh? You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already! Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example?
We promise, just
Then
tell
allow
us.
me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my
It's gonna be something stupid like punch it.
handbook is when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown
In the sauna.
and totally break.
I flipped!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
Damn
The
right.
temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh?
This is
It's
so surreal.
Because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin.
I didn't know that, that's true.
If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway,
If you found the victim's
found the
handbook,
victim, then the
okay.
killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its
I guess he must have had
weakness.
Leon's handbook in when he was in the
How'd
sauna
they
before.
find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into
Oh,
the
of course, 'cause
sauna
he was in
and
there
they'd
with Thingy.
realize it was broken,
Yeah, of course.
And it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook
I do.
into the sauna.
Mondo.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa, seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Who might have brought their handbook into the sauna? It has to be the one who wore their clothes to the sauna. It was Mondo.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What?
Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember?
Yeah, and Mondo wore his clothes
And
the
for
entire time.
contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all
But
over,
Mondo discovered. Oh my
Mondo
god, this is such a good
discovered that
twist!
taking your
Everything
handbook
was
into the
relevant.
sauna
Every
could
single thing was
easily
relevant,
destroy
guys.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt. That handbook isn't Leon's? I don't really know what I'm doing here. Okay.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn
Handbook works just fine.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
We got this handbook.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
It's Leon's.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually worked.
Damn right, he's got
I think
Leon's
he took
handbook.
Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's. Yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says...
No, it doesn't, because
There
he's dead.
is a rule about loaning your handbook
Yeah, exactly.
to it. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As
Very
such,
interesting. I didn't guess this at all.
I agree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch. What's wrong, bro? Come on, tell him he's wrong.
He's a murderer.
You are wrong. You have to be wrong. Everything you just said is wrong. You made it all up.
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time?
Here we go. It's like
from
the
beginning.
organization thing.
That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Closing argument. Begin. Okay, so here we go. So Chihiro is putting her things in there. She puts all the stuff away and leaves. She goes to the boys' locker room. And... I don't really know what to do here. Let's have a look through fully, though. So, Chihiro... I don't even know what I'm fucking doing here, actually. Jesus Christ. There you go. That hits on the head. And then he cleans up the crime scene, which means...
Ooh. First, let's take a look back to
Please be
before the
right.
incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste?
We know this.
With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room. But how could the victim, who was a...
No, I didn't lay out my reasoning right. I need to remember. Fuck's sake! I don't fucking know that. That's right. Alright, let's try that again.
The killer is... you! With bag in hand...
Okay, so we get here.
She made her way to the locker room. specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim?
Scans it and goes in. Walks in. Awesome. That's that done.
Simple. Because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room.
This
Once
could be wrong.
inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him.
That's right, okay.
It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him.
There we go. Blood goes
And
everywhere.
that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from.
Absolutely freaks
It
out.
was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned. Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet, then removing...
Okay, that's wrong. No, I didn't lay out my reasoning right. I need to rearrange the events of the case. Okay, so guys, I've lost pretty much all my health trying to do this for nearly an hour. I had to eventually look up a guy because I didn't even understand what half these fucking drawings were meant to actually fucking be. It was incredibly annoying. Anyway, let's reenact.
Here's exactly
This
what
should be
happened.
right now.
Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide, then...
Okay, we got this.
And finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A
Fantastic.
girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course. But this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl.
Please don't fucking any of this up.
After all...
I just died. I think. No, I didn't. Okay, good. That's up on the wall.
And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated.
Okay, so that's all makes sense so far.
After stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work.
And he wrote Bloodlust on the
He
wall.
used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna.
But how did he dispose of them? It doesn't make
they
sense.
planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out.
There we go.
Isn't that right, Mondo Arata?
Thing is, I wouldn't have thought Mondo would be the type of person to kill someone. Can I save here? I can fucking save. I've got no health, so I need to save right now. Otherwise, I'm just like, fuck, guys. Alright, here we go.
Wait. No. This can't be right. Where's your evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence? You need evidence. You need proof. Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him.
Jesus Christ, Kiyotaka. Yeah. Okay, so once I've got the handbook, that's everything. And you elements added to the bullet time battles. Would you like to hear more? Yeah. Let's talk a bit about fever time and nega time. During a bullet time battle, if you press the space key, fever time will activate and tempo will forever force to its max. At this point, even if you push the buttons at random, you won't miss. So you can push whenever you want to destroy the opponent's verbal assault. This only lasts until your focus gauge runs out, so make the best possible use of your time. Of course, it wouldn't be fair if you got special time rates. So we also prepared something called Negatime that your opponent can use. If your opponent activates Negatime during the bullet time battle, your tempo marker will disappear, making it quite a bit tougher to hit the buttons in rhythm. If you were to activate Fever Time at this point... No, never mind. I'm sure nothing would happen. I don't know what I was worried about. Unsurprisingly, if your action difficulty is set to gentle, the opponent won't use Negatime. Well then, good luck and have fun. I'm so fucked. Oh, we're doing a bullet time with him.
Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence.
This is really tough, guys.
I won't listen. False. I refuse to vote. Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence.
What do I do? There's nothing else to fucking do!
Listen. False.
We did it?
Show me some evidence.
So we did it! Yes! I only just survived that. Holy shit. Holy shit, I only just survived that. I don't even know what... I don't even understand what just happened.
My thinking so far is right. Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I did it. I killed him.
Holy shit. That was really fucking... I got loads of 81 medals there, cool.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that.
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting, no holding on. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Well, we're all gonna vote for fucking, thingy. Right? Mondo is guilty.
What?
This time it looks like you got it right again. Yes, so it is. The Blackened that killed Chihiro Fujisaki was Mondo Awada.
Unbelievable.
The vote was not unanimous. Toko chose the wrong answer. You're treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimura. You need to be more careful. There's no way you could kill someone.
Sorry.
What is this?
Why? Why did you do it?
Now then.
Well, it looks like Mondo's taken a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf.
Actually...
The story of the murder is, this time, a sad story of two men. Oh, but for anyone who doesn't really want to hear it, you can hit the control key to fast forward the text. No, I'm gonna listen. Anyway, there was a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak even though you're a boy. He'd heard things like that for as long as he could remember and couldn't overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into that weakness. To take on the fragile form of a petite young girl, he had chosen that as his way out. No, nobody will be able to say anything about even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken root deep inside of him, and he was not easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear, instead it only grew stronger and stronger.
Weak.
Once the killing game had begun here at the school, we had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, the world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced a revealing of the embarrassing secrets, which of course included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
Hey,
And that's something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack and the armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair.
What?
And yet...
I'm sorry. But...
Okay. Annoyingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right. I want to change.
Strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay, I'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. And so... that day he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retrain his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell the person his secret first and then ask them to help him from there. And the person he went to...
Yeah, that's right.
Jesus. The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how importantly his manly promises were, so Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret.
Uh-huh.
Plus, Mr. Masho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will help give me some courage. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. That was his aspiration, and he thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then, this must be why Mondo did what he did, to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro. Huh? Did what he did? I mean, that's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room to the girls' locker room?
Indeed.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done?
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. The real purpose was to keep the promise between men he'd made to Chihiro.
But
How does moving the body keep a secret?
Because...
If everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone had been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect his identity, so... He tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing his handbook. See? Then Mondo did all that to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro, who'd he'd also killed? Why would he do that? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? So why did you? Because no matter what I did, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
So that's what triggered it, after all. Okay.
What is this?
That's impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Something you didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone?
You're wrong!
It's impossible!
Don't make me repeat myself.
How many times must I repeat myself? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, you obviously can. That's all there is to it. Well, while we're on the subject, why don't I tell you? The embarrassing memory, that secret he didn't want anyone to know.
Hey,
He killed his own brother. Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, made all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place was because of a certain someone. Mondo's other brother name was Daya Owada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Daya that Mondo got a motorcycle. Mondo's brother was his own family growing up. He was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust or respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of the star-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. Before anyone knew it, he'd grown into the biggest biker gang in the country. Daya, the older brother, number one of the gang, and his number two, his younger brother Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy. But when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang from his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. The kid's gonna take over for Daya, huh? Daya created the gang with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. Can someone like that really be our leader? All that he's doing is making the gang look bad. Almost every day Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of the other gang members of the gang. Which is why...
I just...
Once, just one time. No matter what, I gotta win.
Don't fuck with me.
Don't wear what it takes, I gotta come out on top. And on the night of his amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. And he died in the race. During the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead with reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashed into oncoming traffic. But suddenly... His brother saved him. So he didn't really kill his brother, it was an accident. Why would anyone want to know that? It's not a big deal. Well, it's a big deal, but, you know, it's not like he murdered him. Laying in his kid brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. My bad, kid, I fucked up. Sorry. Of course, he knew it was his brother's fault, but Dayu never blamed him for what happened. Hey, kid, the rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. Because it's the team, you and me, put together. It's a promise between men. He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang. In order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother, he could never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that had caused the accident. And as a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of a kid who bested his big brother. Dayu was going to lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad he was willing to tell all kinds of lies about his brother.
I just...
And yet... As soon as that killing game began, he realized, no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. And then the hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets, and at that point it was clear I would have no problem shedding light on his secret. Mondo killed his own older brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother would work to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I've been carrying around, it all would have been for nothing. So that's why... Mondo, after I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with a kind of fuzzy uneasiness and I just started swirling around. I'd never felt like anything like it before. I didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety way down in my stomach. And it was right around then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. And right there, he told me a secret. Seriously? Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Why are you telling me all this of a sudden?
Huh?
Because, I mean, you kept your secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would...
But... I want to change.
I wrapped myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I'd been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. That's the wrong voice. You're so strong, it can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us...
You piece of...
So what? You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret?
Huh?
I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness to try and overcome it. It was the kind of strength I'd never had. So I was jealous of him. And that jealousy broke me.
What?
Are you making fun of me? I'm strong. You fucking with me right now?
No!
I felt like I could hear something stirring the creek. Something inside my head. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back, let my secret get revealed, and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Why did you have to tell me all that? You trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted to...
I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
Strong, I'm strong. Strong. Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch.
I'm stronger than Dea. And he lost it. I don't remember anything after that. Jesus, just mental. When I woke up again, he was laying at my feet covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand and I was just staring at him down on the ground. I killed him.
I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness like that lived in a heart like his, and it turned him cold-blooded. God damn it. Look at him, you see? You're all just like him. For a secret from the past, for a memory, or that he killed another living human being in cold blood. He couldn't come free of his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? Because I sure don't. Just shut up, you son of a bitch. Go ahead, say that again, I dare you.
Yep.
Okay, I'll say it as many times as I want. Is what I want to say, but unfortunately I can't do that right now because it's time for the punishing. Punishing?
It can't be.
Of course it is.
Well now.
That's what I promised you, right? The black and the disturbed the peace will be punished.
Ridiculous.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
Okay, here we go.
Let's give it everything we've got.
It's gonna get hit by a truck or something.
Punishment time!
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
Here we go. Punishment time is here. Jesus Christ, what's going to happen to him? He's getting hit by a truck, right? Oh, Jesus Christ. This is fucked up. The Cage of Death. Here we go. Oh my fucking god. Holy shit. Just some fucking jigsaw shit, isn't it? I'm not even really sure what happened to him. He got made into butter. And Monokuma ate him. Wonderful. Laugh at death and your soul will forever be at peace. It can't be. My brother. Another murder, another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. Maybe I'll just let it happen. A stack of sad screams invaded our skulls. We were all forced to realize once again. But he, of course, had to. What disappointment. This is the end of the game. Byakuya?
What is this?
You're completely insane, you know that again? One of our friends is dead, do you realize that?
Naturally.
Of course I do, because this game is life or death.
Hey.
I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response except that...
However...
I just don't understand why. Why did you go out your way to disguise Mondo's crime?
What?
Because it made things more interesting, it's simple. His voice was calm and motionless, like the voice of death. It chilled me to the bone. Last night when the murder took place, I was in the library as usual.
Honestly.
So you ignored their time rule too? That rule never mattered to me. I don't recall agreeing to it.
There is nothing to be done.
Well, I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late, and I decided to return to my room, which is why I stumbled upon him. I spotted Mondo coming out the girls' locker room. After he'd gone, I looked inside and saw the corpse.
What?
He was such a fool. He didn't have the slightest idea that I'd seen him.
Well...
So you're saying you knew who the culprit was from the very beginning?
That's right.
Indeed, but it had been the end of it. How boring would that have been? I mean, what a waste of time to have the answer revealed right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to lend a little helping hand. I thought it would liven things up. You did all of that to liven things up?
I see.
So after hearing about Genocide Jack from Toko, you decided to use that to create the fake murder scene?
But...
Damn man, if we hadn't figured out who had really done it, you would have been dead too, right? Well, obviously I would have revealed the truth before it reached that point. Of course. Byakuya turned and looked me in the eye. I could feel his sharp eyes piercing into me. Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did, and I was able to perform an interesting experiment. Once I do decide to become blackened, I now know who I have to watch out for. What?
Correct.
So, that was your reason. Are you satisfied?
Indeed.
We're done listening to your story. Moving on.
Hey.
There's something I'd like to ask Monokuma.
What's this?
You
like to perform these elaborate executions each time, right? My question is why? But you know, this punishment, this despair, it's not just for you. All this punishment, all despair is my gift to mankind itself.
What?
You're over-exaggerating. I'm not over-exaggerating. These punishments are meant to transform all hope to despair.
Damn.
What do you mean?
Huh?
Mean? Mean? Mean?
What the heck? Damn it!
I don't understand why you have to pick apart every little stupid thing. Whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, I'm going to stand alone as the victor, and then everything will be revealed to me.
Ooh,
The noble son of a noble family. Truly, you understand me. I think this is the start of a terrifying friendship.
That's enough.
Shut up. I would never stoop to the level of a childish criminal like you. Let me just say this. After I've achieved complete victory, you're up next. I'm going to find you and kill you. Understand?
In the name of my family.
You're getting all riled up!
It's like you're the main character of a video game or something. No trash mob for you. I swear, whatever it takes, I will kill you. Sounds like someone needs a nap. Just fuck off, Monokuma. Monokuma's laugh peeled across the courtroom and the curtain closed on the case of Chihiro and Mondo. But I knew that wasn't the end. The killing game would still continue, because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying. It was a kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in hell had more future than us. All our courage, our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair.
Well, anyway, like I was saying, this is a pretty good spot. Yeah, a really good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair charge forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you couldn't play your part. You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now. So just do your best to make things more exciting from now on,
Holy
okay?
shit, one of the group isn't real.
After all, that's what everyone wants to see.
There's one thing I'd like to ask you.
As long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire away.
Who is it? The 16th high school student, I mean.
Ooh. My, you really took me by surprise there. I know I said you could ask anything, but super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied. Because you see, that's my ace in the hole.
This is so weird.
And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends.
So one of them is a spy working for Monokuma, and there's a 16th student. Holy fucking shit. Ten left. Fucking hell. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this episode of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, remember to leave a like, and I will see you really soon for some more. Have a great day. Bye for now.